Welcome to another edition of Camp Dolphins All Access. I'm Mike Cuneo, joined by the much taller, much smarter Kim Camper. We're inside today. Yes, it was hot, of course, and that's why we're moving in and out a little bit. Don't mind the AC. But I think the team doesn't mind, or maybe they do mind, the way they've started the last two practices. They mentioned it both days, that a little bit of slow start, picked it up towards the end. Is that concerning for you on both sides of the ball?
It's a little concerning because I think we've been watching a team that's looked pretty well. I mean, you look at their offense and kind of clicking like clockwork, and defense doing a lot of good things. And it was a very, very uneven practice yesterday, and I can see why the coaches weren't really happy with it. And I'm sure last night in the meeting rooms, these guys heard about it. And so that comes into today, and you expect coming off something like that to be a little more enthusiastic. Now, they were more enthusiastic, but it still was an uneven practice. You had some mistakes out there. You had people jumping off sides. And look, I know it's hot. I know it's kind of in the middle of training camp a little bit here, but those are the things you got to fight through because it's going to be hot in September, and until November you're going to be playing in games that are like that. So you got to deal with it. But I think the good thing about it is the coaching staff isn't happy, but they have a lot of things that they can go over with on the tapes and correct, and that's what coaches love to have. So it's a little bit disturbing, but I think everything will play out fine.
I thought today when that little mini scuffle broke out, maybe that was the flip that they needed, so they can kind of turn it up and swing. And maybe wake them up a little bit.
It's always nice to get a little scuffle going because it encompasses both teams, and then the intensity just ratchets up. They got inside. They went inside because they were concerned with the weather. Had a little pushing and shoving in there too, so it became the kind of practice that we expected to see yesterday more so than today. But we saw a lot of good things. In particular today, we saw Teron Armstead out there playing. I think he'd play a couple plays and then come out. They didn't give him a lot of time, but he was in there. Now, on the other side of the line, we're looking at that left guard position. Austin Jackson seems pretty secure on the right side. But today in that left guard position, Liam Eichenberg with the second team, and it was a parade of people going into that left tackle. They had Robert Jones out there. They had Wynn out there. They had
Lester Cotton out there.
Lester Cotton. So they're looking for someone that's going to fill that left guard spot. That is a concern.
That's a concern, but at least they do have that game Friday where they can at least see some live action and get those guys in there. Not exactly sure what kind of defensive line the Falcons will send out for that first game.
If their defensive line is going to play like the way they've done this week, they're going to create problems. They've created pressure. They've had caused quarterbacks problems getting the ball out there. So I hope they play better than they did during these two practices, because if not, that's going to send up a big red flag, and over the next couple of weeks, where there are going to be a lot of people coming in and out this door.
You know, there was some things I think fans should keep an eye on. We saw Jaylen Waddle get a little dinged up, leave practice. We saw Alec Ingold leave practice. Justin Bethel had a pick towards the end. He looked shaken up. So there are certainly a couple of maybe injury things. All these guys, for the most part, walked it off. But just to keep an eye on. I'm guessing if you're in the coach's position, this is the last thing you want.
Look, I'm not going to play Doogie Howser on this and say, hey, this guy's out for a long time. But it is concerning when you've got, especially Waddle. Waddle came down, everyone's going, oh, what is it? Is it his left shoulder? And it seemed like it was a rib thing. And so who knows whether it could be a broken rib, could be a bruised rib, could be a day, could be a week. So we have to, that's the big concerning thing. But these little injuries, and it's typical in training camp that you get them to compound a little bit. But you like to have them compounded by the guys that really aren't going to make the team anyway, rather than your stars that you want to see out there.
You know what? They're flying around for the first time, going against competition, building maybe a little scar tissue for the regular
no doubt.
season.
You got to get used to. You got to get used to the pain. Take some time.
We'll see if they can get used to it by Friday. Once again, their first preseason game right across the street at Hard Rock Stadium. Of course, we'll be there for the call. Kimbo Camper, thank you so much for joining us on Camp Dolphins All Access.